Welcome to this KOIN 6 Weather Special, a look back at the wild weather of 2025 across the Pacific Northwest. I'm KOIN 6 Chief Meteorologist Josh Cozart. The greater Portland-Vancouver area saw everything from extreme heat to flooding, even snow over the past 12 months. On top of that, the Pacific Northwest didn't fail to show off some of its most iconic nature spots. We'll take a look back at everything from Portland's cherry blossoms to the raging waters of Multnomah Falls, all impacted by this past year's weather. Let's start off at the top of 2025. January in the greater Portland-Vancouver area. A relatively normal start to the year brought chilly temperatures to western Oregon and southwest Washington. On top of that, fog was the biggest takeaway. The low-lying clouds helped to give spectacular sights across downtown Portland as the buildings were eclipsed in a thick layer of gray. Yeah, that was the biggest takeaway of January. A slow start to what would soon be a weather-filled year ahead. February brought something a little different. Not something we're strangers to, but something most impactful for us here in the greater Pacific Northwest. Yeah, we're talking about snow. It's all getting underway Thursday. That's why we have that KOIN 6 weather alert that will be in place.
I think that's what we love the most, is when people can enjoy this safely, and those who are staying home and get to enjoy it. Yeah, that's the best part of all of this, I think, Josh.
That is the best way to spend a snow day. Or maybe what I did earlier this morning was just kind of hunker inside, watch it through the window.
Also nice.
Yeah,
also a good plan.
Winter weather usually stops Portland in its tracks, but if you don't have anywhere to be, it makes for some pretty incredible sights across the Rose City. This was the first and last real blast of winter weather seen along the Willamette Valley. However, you all at home took advantage of the snow, sending in to us here at KOIN 6 in the weather department some incredible images of the snowy sights and people seen in our area. Shortly after the blast of winter weather in mid-February, signs of spring started to crop up in Portland. The crocus flowers, along with the daffodils and forsythias, started to bloom just days before the start of meteorological spring. That's March 1st. The sights of spring would give way to the beloved Portland waterfront cherry blossoms in March. The unseasonal early onset of spring would eventually give way to summer, with many ups and downs. We'll take a closer look at that when this KOIN 6 special 2025 weather recap returns. Welcome back to this KOIN 6 special. We left off with the sights of spring in Portland. The beloved Portland cherry blossoms were in full swing by late March. The warmer sunshine brought out spectators in droves to take a look at this yearly sight. A sight that now is only just a few months away. Spring came with a celebratory moment for the KOIN 6 weather team, named Portland's most accurate weather forecast by Weather Rate for 10 consecutive years.
Weather is the best in town for their incredible efforts to earn our certification all these years in a row. So congratulations to KOIN.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we go. Some familiar faces. Only here on KOIN 6 can you get Portland's most accurate forecast 10 years in running.
That's right. Congratulations are in order to the entire KOIN weather team. Josh, of course.
Yeah, Josh,
thank you.
One of the biggest names in forecasting. Weather Rate paid us a visit to celebrate with our team. Congrats, Josh. You were a big part of this.
Thank you. And it really extends out just from the Weather Center.
Yeah.
Everybody at the desk, behind the scenes, really helps to play into making sure that we have the available time and resources to create the most accurate forecasts.
Yeah, and you got the hardware to prove
Yeah.
it.
That we do.
There.
Love it. Oh,
There
it's
we
cute.
go.
It's
Yes, a
just
little
clouds.
lightning bolt. So that's Weather Rate's logo. And then, of course, we have our logos as well. So yeah, 10 years, that's remarkable.
I love the
is.
slow zoom.
I know,
Behold.
very dramatic.
Yeah, to have 10 years in a row is pretty rare.
Yeah,
It
incredible.
is. Yeah, not everybody across the country is able to say that. So
Great
we're
work.
very
Congrats.
lucky.
Congrats.
Thank you. That award came with an accurate forecast of seasonal summer-like conditions for much of the greater Portland area. Unfortunately, a new norm for the summer season: wildfires. This time staying east of Portland.
Dozens of homes destroyed in Wasco County. It's now the third day of fire crews' efforts to fight the flames with no containment in sight. It is 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Jeff Giannolo.
I'm Elizabeth Din. Joelle Jones is staying on top of developments there, and she joined us from Rowena, west of the Dalles.
Things out here in Rowena are looking much better today than they were yesterday. Fire officials say the lower temperatures and higher humidity are reducing that fire danger. But as you can hear, the wind is really ripping. You can see it's moving that smoke and some of these embers, creating a challenge for firefighters. Officials say that 49 homes have been destroyed as a result of this fire. I spoke with some of those residents who lost their homes along Highway 30 earlier today.
This was going to be a time when we actually would lose everything.
As Andy Miles and his son Jesse returned to their Rowena home of more than 20 years, all seemed lost. Then a cry from debris.
I was walking around in the rubble and I just heard the sounds she's making right now, just really quiet little cries. And I looked down and she was there. I was so worried she'd be burned, but she isn't at all.
A little thirsty, but uninjured by the fire, Andy clutches his cat Stormy. How do you feel being reunited with her? He says he thought he'd never see her again after being evacuated by the sheriff's deputy Wednesday.
Pounded on the door, woke me up. I've been sick, and so I was asleep. Without him, I would have burned to death.
Old keyboard stand right there, old bed right here.
Their neighbor and renter of 7 years, Shane Whitehorse, was away in Portland when the fire broke out. Unable to grab anything, he lost drums, featherwork, and other irreplaceable indigenous heirlooms, still searching for his cat, Eula May.
Yeah, I lost some pictures and videos of lost relatives, but you know, these pets, you know, if we're gonna take them on, you know, they're dependent on us, and if they can't get out of something like this, you know, you feel responsible a little bit.
More than 450 firefighters remain on scene, many working overnight to keep the fire from growing, still estimated at roughly 3,800 acres.
Unfortunately, this is the worst incident I've seen in 23 and a half years.
Those who lost left to reflect and rebuild.
It was rose bushes and flowers and trees that he planted and watered for 25 years. And I'm sure he'll do it again.
Now, GoFundMes have been set up to support both Shane Whitehorse and Andy Miles as they both work to rebuild following this devastating fire. You can find those fundraisers linked out at KOIN.com. In the meantime, the Red Cross has set up a shelter at the Dalles Middle School, and we're told that fire officials will be hosting a community update, and that's at the Dalles High School starting at 7 tonight. Reporting in Rowena tonight, I'm Joelle Jones, KOIN 6 News.
Thankfully, seasonal conditions around the Cascades made for some great hiking conditions throughout the warmer summer months. As of this hike, July 13th is the date, and definitely seeing the dry conditions as well. You can really see that the moss on the trees has started to dry out too for the season. That potentially could add more fuel to potential wildfires. Not saying that this is a spot that could get it, but if it's happening here, likely happening over much of the high terrain of the Cascades, points east. We're even seeing it through the valley locations with not only the moss, but down trees as well. All right, we finally made it to the very top of Bald Mountain with those spectacular views behind me. We sat back, we relaxed, we had a drink of water, and now we're just gonna turn right back around, head down. So heading down always a little bit easier, but definitely a just truly spectacular sight right here in our own backyard in the Pacific Northwest. So let's head back down to the car and back to Portland. The warmer sunshine also helped to make the Portland International Rose Test Garden jump into a beautiful display of color. A few cooler summer days mixed with bright and long days helped the garden explode with color once again. Of course, we didn't get past the summer season without some hot temperatures and some pretty high humidity.
Sizzling temperatures are returning. Yeah, it's a weather alert day today. National Weather Service has a heat advisory up from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Temperatures near 100 degrees for the metro area and most of the Willamette Valley as well. And that's going to stick around through the weekend with temperatures at least 90 or above.
The high heat and humidity created the perfect combination for lightning to strike over downtown Portland and much of western Oregon and southwest Washington late into August. What is a potential even this evening is sights like this, lightning lighting up the skies over downtown Portland early this morning, right around 2:30 or so. Just a very small isolated cell started to develop out over the Camas area, tracked its way further to the south over the Columbia River, eventually ending up right here in downtown Portland before it started to fizzle out. KOIN also took you to the skies during the summer months, seeing Oregon's waterfalls from a bird's eye view with Natasha Stenbach.
La Tourelle Falls is coming up on your right.
Okay.
So just past this rocky ledge, you should be able to see it. There it is. Okay, Multnomah Falls coming up on your right. Now, it's interesting to note it stands 600 feet tall, and the KOIN Tower is just under 600 feet.
Oh, so they're about the same.
Yeah. If it rains really hard here in the wintertime, like this place is sliding all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And then the example of the Dodson mudslide when that one person was trapped and unfortunately didn't make it out. And right here, you're starting to see remnants from the 2017 Eagle Creek fire.
Yeah. Summer quickly slipped away, as it typically does for us here in the Pacific Northwest, all as Portland's fall colors came to life. We'll take a closer look at the amazing colors seen around the Pacific Northwest, and in particular, the Portland Japanese Garden, when this KOIN 6 Special Weather 2025 recap returns. Welcome back to this KOIN 6 Special Weather Recap for the year 2025. As summer slipped away, the Swifts found a new roost to call home. The Abernathy Elementary School's chimney became their new September home in Portland this year. As days became shorter and the summer sun grew weaker, the dahlia flowers in Canby came into full bloom by late September.
You know, we start over every season, replanting and letting them grow. So they take about 90 days to bloom. So we start planting late April through May and sometimes into early June, just depending on the season and what Mother Nature lets us plant. We plant 3 rows at a time. And so about 90 days after planting, we get to see the gorgeous flowers. So it takes just a little while. They're a little later summer blooming flower. Most people are expecting, you know, that June, July flower, and these guys, you have to wait just a little longer for them. As much time as we spend taking care of the fields, it's really special to me that people can come and just enjoy our hard work, because it takes a lot of work. All of the weeds are hand pulled. There's just a lot of maintenance that goes into it, and then they are all harvested. So we dig these fields every winter and replant and start over every year. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
The pop of color continued with autumn, one of my personal favorite times of the year here in the Pacific Northwest. And those colors didn't disappoint. Portland is a showstopper when it comes to the nice pop of red, yellows, and oranges. But one spot that is a highlight to see is the Portland Japanese Garden.
The Pacific Northwest does fall the right way. It's a really beautiful part of the world. And then here at Portland Japanese Garden, because of the intentionality of the way that the landscape is placed, every tree intentionally planted, it creates this really just beautiful tableau. So basically anywhere you go in our garden, you're going to be presented with just this really stunning view. And sometimes it'll be mostly pine, but then you'll get that one shock of orange, or sometimes it's just like this incredible, almost fireworks display of different reds and yellows and oranges. So it's always a really special time of year here, and the anticipation's fun, but then when it gets here, I think that's the best part.
It's the Christmas Day effect. Almost.
Yeah.
And I almost feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, but almost every single day, an in particular tree might start to look wildly different than what it did the day prior.
Well, we say visit often, and you know, it's because we want to see you here as much as possible, but the truth is the landscape does really change from day to day, and especially, you know, if you miss a couple days, you'll come back and you'll see it's stunning. A tree will all of a sudden just transform. We see the same thing in spring with their cherry blossoms, where, you know, you blink and then all of a sudden it just it's a display, a beautiful display.
What would you say is maybe one of the highlight spots that people come here specifically during the fall to see?
Well, so we do, I would say everywhere, but to be more specific, we have this tree that we call the tree, and it's believed to be one of the most photographed trees, you know, we say in North America. I'm going to go ahead and assume maybe the world. It's this very humble maple tree, but then you get underneath it, and underneath the canopy is this really beautiful shot. We set up a line where photographers will wait to get their 15 minutes to take their photo of it. It first became known because a local photographer took a photo of it, and it wound up in National Geographic. and then it was also featured in an art show at the Smithsonian. And so I think that's kind of inspired other people to come. And you walk down the line and you'll meet people from all over the world. I know there was this one gentleman a few years ago who on our website saw that we had declared it peak fall, drove 18 hours overnight to get his photo. So it's really lovely. It's, you know, it's reassuring in a way. You get here and you see that you know, people get really excited for nature. It's a touching thing to see.
Unfortunately, December ending with a bit of a stormy note. Multiple and powerful atmospheric rivers brought devastating rains and flooding to parts of the Pacific Northwest. Mudslides and gusty winds caused widespread power outages. And despite the storm damage, the soaking rains helped give the Portland area waterfalls some spectacular life. Multnomah Falls raging along the Columbia River Gorge in mid-December. It's been a weather year to remember here in the Pacific Northwest. But what's next for 2026? Unfortunately, even Portland's most accurate forecasters can't predict that one. But the KOIN 6 weather team will be here to continue to track the latest threats for you in the year to come. So that does it for this KOIN 6 weather special, A Year in Review 2025. Thanks for watching and have a happy new year.
Very private, since we're kind of on the corner. We're right. Very private, since we're